I mean, they're going second for the second week in a row, play Chelsea in the final part of Super Sunday tomorrow. Man City go first away at Leeds United earlier. Is pressure and how Arsenal handle it or don't handle it the only thing that stops them ending this 22-year wait for the title?
Yeah, and a bit of luck here and there along the way. I mean, you got to get a bit of luck along the way, you know. Kick off tomorrow, ball goes over the top, keeper comes out, someone goes round and keeper gets sent off, you're in trouble. So you need that little bit of luck at the same time. Big pressure playing second. If Man City win.
Yeah.
If Man City win, the pressure's on. So for me, this is a big weekend, as I said earlier. Man City got a difficult game at Leeds and then Arsenal got a very, very difficult game at home to Chelsea. So, yeah, all the eyes were on Arsenal last week against Tottenham. You know, big local derby. You think it's going to be a bit of a leveller, and they performed. Put in a brilliant, brilliant performance. You sit there after and you think, why didn't you just play that against Wolves? Why don't you just play like that with that amount of energy, have a go at them, attack them, you know, and Wolves wouldn't have been able to live with Arsenal. So for me, I think they've got to take the game to Chelsea. Chelsea will probably sit back like they did in the semi-final and soak it up and try and get Arsenal on the counter-attack. But yeah, big football match this. I think if Arsenal win this game, that you could tick another big team off that they've beaten.
And Merce is right, Boydie, to talk about, particularly that performance against Wolves. It was so poor by the standards they've been setting this season. Yeah. But can we read too much? Listen, you only beat what's in front of you, and they did so well against Tottenham last week. But we've talked about Tottenham. They're so far off it at the moment. Yeah. Can we read too much into that winning performance?
Yeah, because it's a derby. You know, I mean, I know Tottenham are struggling right now, but to go and put on the performance that they did, and I thought Gyökeres was outstanding. I mean, there's been times where he's been criticised this year. I don't know if maybe because Tottenham, Tottenham started with a back three. Usually when you see Gyökeres, he's trying to back in, he's trying to fight with defenders. I thought at the weekend it was an outstanding performance because he didn't go and get involved in the battle. He didn't go and try and play up against them. He played in between them, he played to the side of them. He caused Tottenham all sorts of problems, and when he's in this form, I think he's very difficult to stop because there's one thing, yes, he's not hit the amount of goals that a lot of people expected him to get, or he's not hit the amount of goals that he got in Portugal in the last few years. He was never going to. But whenever you give him a chance, Si, I mean, his finishing is outstanding. This year, there's only one thing. He doesn't need to look at the goal. He knows exactly what it is. The goals don't move. His first touch is perfect. It's in, it's clean, and it's a fantastic sight. This one uses his body. He's fully aware of it there, as I said. Usually it's like backing in and trying to fight with defenders. That time there, he gets his arm up across, holds the defender off and just bends it away. It was an outstanding performance. And, you know, for me, when you've got that back three and a striker, it can be difficult sometimes to go and pick him up, but he occupied the three of them last week.
I think he was very, very clever. If you looked, he played on Polinia and Dragusin in between them two. He never went on the other side where he goes, I don't want a foot race with Mickey van der Ven and Dragusin in the middle. So he played down that side. When he was up for a physical battle with Dragusin and Polinia, I thought he just outstrengthened them. What he wants, teams go to the Emirates and sit 10 players behind the ball and it's hard for him to get an opportunity. But I think 10 Premier League goals this season, I think he's been a good signing. People say, yeah, his numbers aren't great. He occupies centre-halves, Boydie, like you just said, and it gives you wide plays. It gives the player in the number 10, Eze, last week, a little bit more freedom, a little bit more space, because he puts his centre-halves back. I think he's a good signing, but people will always question that.
And mentioning Eze there, Merce, I just wondered how much he benefited, particularly last week, because Eze appears and he just absolutely loves scoring against Tottenham. Scored another couple to go with his hat-trick earlier this season, but it looked like Gyökeres was benefiting from having someone running off him, because at times this season he has looked a little bit isolated.
Yeah, He put Saka in there against Wolves. It's an odd position to play the 10. You know, you just don't just put someone in there and go, go and do what you want. You've got to make things happen. You've got to find pockets. You know what I mean? And Eze's very good at that. You know, I thought that was what he was bought for, was to get in them little pockets. You know, and if you get him on the ball, he can turn it. He's elegant. He goes past people like they're not there. Yeah, and it helped. If you won that game was perfect for Arteta. You know, they win the game 4-1 and Gyökeres gets 2 goals.
Yeah.
And Eze scores 2. I mean, if you could pick 2 players you wanted to score the goals, that would be it. If these 2 hit fire to the end of the season, Arsenal win the league.
Yeah.
You know, if they can go and be 8 out of 10 every week. Because, you know, we said at the start when Eze got bought, he was the X factor. He was the one that was going to get him over the line. And I still think that could be the case, you know, long as he plays. And Arteta trusts him. I always find with Arteta...
Do you think he does fully?
No, I don't think he does. A lot of people. I think I think Arteta plays on sparks where he'll watch someone, they'll do something wrong, and then, oh, you're out the team. Do you know, I've seen it too. You know, we see it with Calafiori not long ago. He had a nightmare game, gets ripped off, don't play again. You know, Eze gets caught on the far post against Cash at Villa. Don't really play again. You've got to give them a chance. Trust in them more, these players. I don't think he does that enough, in my opinion.
I'm watching this as an Arsenal fan, and I'll be straight with you. This debate tells you exactly where this title race really is. This whole debate about pressure, it's real. Playing second, knowing City might have already won, that does things to teams. But if that is what stops us ending a 22-year wait, then we're not ready anyway. Champions don't hide from pressure, they walk straight into it. What I actually liked from this discussion is the reminder that context matters. The Tottenham performance wasn't just 3 points, it was a statement. Derby, hostile ground, expectations sky high, and we delivered. That tells me this squad can handle big moments. The frustration is that we don't bring that same intensity every single week. Wolves at home should never look flat after a performance like Spurs away. That inconsistency is the real concern. Not City, not fixtures, not luck. On the striker talk, I'm with it. Gyökeres isn't here to score 30 tap-ins. He occupies centre-halves, creates space, pins defences back, and when he gets chances, his finishing is clean. The problem isn't always him, it's when he's isolated, because teams park the bus at the Emirates. That's why having runners around him matters. When players like Odegaard or Eze find pockets and move off him, we look dangerous. When they don't, he looks disconnected. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Arteta's trust issues might cost us. He's ruthless, sometimes too ruthless. One mistake and players disappear. You can't build rhythm or confidence like that, especially at this stage of the season. If he fully backs the players he's brought in and lets them grow through mistakes, this team has more than enough quality to win the league. Bottom line, the title is still in our hands. If we play at an 8 out of 10 level every week, not just in derbies, Arsenal win the league. Simple as that. Now over to you. Do you think pressure will define this title race or consistency? And do you trust Arteta's player management right now? Drop your opinion in the comments. I read them all. And if you want proper Arsenal fan reactions, real talk, no media fluff, subscribe to the channel and stay with us till the end of the season.